Hey everybody, it's V, aka the CPS Scholar. I'm here for another episode of And Just Like That, Season 1, Episode 3, When in Rome. Happy pre-New Year's. I hope everybody's blessed, safe, having a good time with your family, and enjoying your rest and relaxation. So we're going to get into this episode, but before we do that, I'd like you to like, share, subscribe, and definitely comment. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you like the show? Let me know what you think. I would really appreciate your feedback. And with that being said, let's talk about this episode or this show in general. So this show to me has been pretty terrible. I'm really not enjoying the show the way I probably should. They probably should. It's a reboot. I was trying to give it a chance because, like I said, this is one of my favorite shows ever. I'm definitely a Sex and the City super fan. And I was really, really looking forward to this episode. This show isn't giving what it was supposed to give, but I think I'm going to ride it out to the end of the season so I can watch it just in case you guys don't want to, let you know what's going on. And maybe we'll give it a try in season 2, but if not, we'll drop it and we'll find something else more exciting to watch, and we'll let the old show live in its infamy and greatness. So this episode is called When in Rome. It probably should have been called Attack of the Side Chick, or When Side Chicks Stalk. And the reason I'm saying that is if you're an original fan of the first show, you know of the relationship between Natasha and Carrie. Who is Natasha? Natasha is the lady that Big married while stringing Carrie along for all those years. She was younger, she was beautiful, she was successful, and she had Big. There are many episodes that were tied to her. The first one I remember is Attack of the 5'10" woman. Yes, she's 5'10". She's statuesque, a model. Us little ladies, we do what we can do with our height, but you know, she's one of those tall ladies. Definitely can wear, don't need heels. So I really love Natasha. She was classy, and he was in love with her in my eyes. So talk about that relationship. Big married Natasha. It basically made Carrie go into a spiral because she was trying to figure out why she wasn't good enough for Big to marry. I think some ladies have been there before. And she basically, like she's doing on this episode, starting stalking Natasha, trying to prove herself worthy in front of Natasha. So she would show up different places that Natasha was. She would read about their marriage announcement in the New York Times. One episode that I remember is when she decided to spend all her money, all her whole check, to buy a dress so that she can run into Natasha at a ladies who lunch event that she was throwing, and then Natasha ended up not showing up, so she wasted her money. And then when she actually did run into Natasha, she was in a dressing room in her big granny panties and a non-matching ass bra, and so she just never could win looking good in front of Natasha. So what did she do? She turns around and she starts saying, oh, she's going to be friends with Big, and they end up falling into an affair. And that's when she was cheating on, that big homegrown country fine ass man, Aiden, and broke his heart, and they end up getting back together. But before all that happened, Carrie did the unthinkable and actually smashed Big in Natasha and Big's apartment, and Natasha catches her. They run down the stairs. She's chasing her out the apartment. She's like, Carrie, I know it's you. Carrie's running. Natasha falls down the stairs. She's a model, and she breaks one of her damn teeth, which is her face is her money maker. And Carrie's all devastated, helps her up, puts it together. So now they're together, knowing that each other exists, and they're over Big, and Natasha and Big end up getting divorced. And in the original show, she starts stalking Natasha again to try to say, I'm sorry. And Natasha's not trying to hear it, and I don't blame her. And so now, fast forward to today, it seems like it's the same dynamic again, even though this man Big is good and dead. And one part I don't want to forget, too, is even though she cheated on Aiden with Big, Aiden took her back. They used to run into each other in different areas and act like everything was all good. And Aiden never got over it. Most men don't get over women cheating. And he still proposed to her, and she said no because she was obsessed with Big. She eventually got Big, but like I said, as soon as she lived with him, the man was good and old when she met him. He dies, and like I said, she barely tried to resuscitate him, but that's one of my peeves of that episode. And now she's alone. So now we can talk about the actual show. So we're back at the podcast with Che, and the jokes, as usual, are super cringy, Karen-like, woke, ally, all that good stuff. I mean, I really cannot get with these comedians in this podcast. To me, comedy is supposed to be raunchy, ratchet, offensive. There's a little bit of truth in it sometimes. I'm not with all the super PC stuff. I mean, I'm somewhat PC enough, but these jokes are just, I can't take it. But the good thing is Carrie seems to have gotten a stride, and she's bantering with them. And so it doesn't look like she's going to be fired anytime soon like the original episode. And she's talking to Che about Big and talking about how she's what she calls happy, sad. Happy that she was able to be with him, because remember, she was fighting to be with him through their whole relationship. He wouldn't let her meet the mama. He was marrying people around her, dating other people around her, and she was dating other people, and they finally got together. So she's happy she was able to get him, but she's sad that now he's gone. So it makes sense when your husband dies that you would be sad, right? Miranda speaks up and says she finally listened to the podcast and compliments Che. I see where this storyline is going, but we're gonna ride along with it. So they talk about that they're going to go to Che's Netflix special. Not sure what Che's real name is, but I'll talk about her comedy in a little bit. So now they decide they're going to go, Carrie's going to go with Miranda to the reading of Big's will. And Gloria, the secretary, who's super weird, kind of like too emotional over him, kind of like his mother, knows everything. And his lawyer is there as well, and he's super hilarious because he's gotten into a big argument with his wife, and she keeps calling, and she's trying every avenue. She's on his Apple Watch, trying to get her point across, and I've been there, done that when you're trying to argue to be right. I'm working on me, toxic, but we're all going to get there one day, right? We're going to be healthy and loving relationships. So then they transition to the restaurant where Miranda sees Stanford and asks what he's doing there because she planned a lunch, and he's like, oh, I'm here for lunch. Carrie invited me. And she basically is upset because she said, I sat up here and looked for a 3-top. Now it's going to have to be a 4-top. He talks about how he used to be a waiter back in the swinging 80s, like Studio 54, drugs, love, sex, rock and roll. And that he knows that a 3-top is really a 4-top. So she tells him, Charlotte, that she's avoiding places where Carrie has been with Big or Samantha. And I'm kind of sick of them bringing up Samantha, because if she's not going to be on the show, you should have killed her off, because you guys are acting like she's some ghost that doesn't exist. Y'all could have completely left her out the show, but they're basically using Kim Cattrall as a way to push the storyline through. And by the way, I love Kim Cattrall. I know I'm super lame, and I'm an 80s baby, but I grew up in the 90s really. But I loved her in Mannequin and Porky's and all those raunchy sex comedies, and I'm sure she's done way more than that. But the reason she doesn't want to do this series is because she was tired of being known for that. And she's actually 10 years older than the rest of the cast, and she says she wants to be a grown, mature lady sipping her tea at the house. She don't want to be bothered with this woke foolishness. So I applaud her, and I miss her. So then as they're talking about not going to places where Big and Samantha are, Stanford confronts Charlotte about treating him like he's not in the inner circle. And he says that he's been talking to a therapist about it. She was shocked that he needed to talk to a therapist about her, and that she comes up, and he says that his therapist says that she's probably jealous of his relationship with Carrie. Now, both these people are basically counterparts of each other. They're super high strung. They have to be dressed perfectly. They probably don't like each other because they're just alike, and they're super annoying in this scene, but you get a little laugh out of it. Then it flashes back to them reading the will of Big again, and they're talking about he has one last gift to give out, and everybody's looking confused. Gloria's like, ooh, Miranda helped me out with this. And come to find out, Big left Natasha, his ex-wife, $1 million. And I was like, why not me, Lord? Why not me? Half these dudes won't buy you a drink or take you on a date. I kid. You know who you are. And so it's amazing that this man thought enough for her to leave $1 million. And a comment was made that unfinished business, when he had unfinished business, people usually throw money at it. And I guess that was his way to force this conversation. But we don't know because he's good and dead. So now Carrie is having a meltdown they're all at this restaurant. And Carrie's having a meltdown at this Four Top, which is horribly placed. They put it right next to the kitchen door. And while they're trying to have conversations, Stanford keeps getting hit in the back by the door swinging open. And it's super distracting and it's super funny. And but they can't really laugh about it because Carrie's super upset because now she feels like he was just one of the wives he was taking care of, because I believe Big was married. Carrie is Big's third wife, I believe, and that her marriage wasn't good. So what I took from this scene is it's insane that Carrie is still seeking validation after this man's death. The entire time they were dating, she was trying to be validated by this man. When he left her ass at the altar, she was devastated because she still wasn't validated at this man. They finally got married on his terms, the way he wanted. They lived the life the way he wanted. Yes, she was happy because she was just happy to be with him. But this man is dead and she's still chasing his validation. And I've heard of this before. Side chicks showing up to funerals, side chicks having life insurance. I think people just need to be together from when they're together. If that person's worth it to you, I guess you can go through it. But it's much better to have a person that is for you and just for you, and you don't have any ghosts and skeletons cartling out of the closet on you, and people showing up at the funeral. But as the wife, or I guess you want to call the main, I hate that we have the side chick culture. All you can do is hope that everybody respects you, but I'm not here for it. So her friends being her friends, listen to her say why she wonders why Natasha is in the will, what is going on, and then Miranda says, "Hey, of course she's gonna be in the will. The man destroyed her life." And Carrie was the side chick. She was the problem, and she's still blaming this lady. She's still blaming this lady like she wasn't talking to this lady's husband. Is the audacity, the caucasity of it all. And Charlotte being Miranda's the realist, so she said, "You destroyed this lady's life." Charlotte said, still trying to make her feel better. She's a total ride or die. So she's like, "Oh, you didn't destroy her life. She's doing well. She's working at Bergdorf. She's happy. She's smiling." People can be looking happy and smiling and still be destroyed on the inside. A divorce is like a death. So Charlotte was just really working my damn nerves. And then Stanford, who's a super ride or die, was like, F her and her perfect life. So they're just going to back up Carrie no matter what. I guess it's good to be a supportive friend, but are you supporting your friend in their mess? I don't know. Comment at the bottom. Is that a good thing to do? And then Charlotte also pushes the narrative that, she's like, "Oh, well, you were with him first, so she's technically your side chick." And I'm like, I can't do this today. I don't know, but we're going to get through this episode. And Charlotte continues to tell Carrie that they're the best couple that they know. And, of course, Miranda's looking crazy. I see where they're going to go with this. And Stanford puts a bug in her ear. Well, maybe if he left her that money, maybe they were still in touch. So she gets all scared. So the irony is now she's scared that the chick that she was a side chick for is now a side chick. So all irony, I guess how you get them is how you lose them, right? So that's what the old saying says, right? So then Carrie goes home in her overthinking, crazy ass way. I'm an overthinker too, and I get it. And maybe I would act the same way. I don't know, but she's trying to break into computers, figure out passwords, figure out what secret life, and even if she did find out, the man's dead. So now what you gonna do? So back over to Charlotte's house, she's reading Rose a book. That's her baby girl. And she calls her baby girl, and Rose tells her she hates it because she doesn't feel like a girl. Okay, gender identity storyline, here we come. So she says she never feels like a girl, and Charlotte freaks out and falls off the bed. So that ends that scene. Now we're over to Steve and Miranda. I love Steve. I love him. Okay. Steve and Miranda's, and they're having a normal, lovely couple day, eating sundaes, about to watch movies. And Brady and his boo are around, and Miranda's like, "Do you regret letting them have sex in the house?" And like, are we gonna be able to let them go back in time and take it back? And it was like, so I would never let my children have sex in my house. I don't care if they're 45. I don't want you cracking them knees open. I don't want any of none knocking boots like they say, knocking it down in my house. I don't want to know. I don't want to see. Just show up with the grandbabies when you're ready. I don't want to know anything about it. So this is a bit much for me. But and another point I wanted to make is, I know the show is not Sex and the City. It's and just like that. But where's where are the sex scenes? It's so boring. I mean, some excitement. We only see the little jits getting in, and I didn't want to see that. I want to see some grownness. It's weird. Okay, I'm done. I'm done venting. So Brady's girlfriend said that makes a slick remark saying that whole milk is good for aging bones. And Miranda gets offended and then talks about and she's like, "Don't get offended. I'm aging too. Aging is a part of being alive." And Steve makes a joke that maybe they adopted her by mistake and didn't realize it. But another side note, let me run off the rails with this. This show makes aging look so bad. So these people are supposed to be 55 years old. I'm above my 30s, and yeah, I don't have the Meg Thee Stallion knees. Probably never did. Got a little crick in my elbow. My back hurts sometimes. But nobody is as old as these people. These people are acting like they're 80 years old. The way they look, the way they can't hear. My parents are in their above their 50s, and they look good. I don't know if it's the melanation of it all. I don't know if it's taking care of yourself. Maybe they drank too many cosmopolitans. Maybe Carrie smoking too many cigarettes. But these chicks look old, and I love Golden Girls, and it was amazing. And this ain't it. This is kind of dusty. It's just, I don't know, raggedy, bones cracking. I don't know. I don't like this. Yeah, embrace your gray hair. I have one little gray hair in the front, one little gray. Embrace your gray hair, but you should not be looking like Grandma Moses at 55. I don't get it. I'm confused. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so it switches back to Carrie, and she's looking through Big stuff and finds a number in his pocket. Oh crap! Who number Big done picked up? Let's figure it out. So she calls it, and it rings her home phone. She answers it. She doesn't even know her own home phone number. I probably wouldn't either. People don't really have home phones anymore. And so this leads him to go looking through his wallet, and she finds a picture of a dog she never saw before, and I believe the dog's name was Gogi. And she sees that he's been to Pinkberry. Like, basically, she realizes that he does things in his life that she doesn't know about. Newsflash, people, everybody has things that they keep to themselves that they feel are private. We would like to know, as a part of intimacy, that your partner would tell you everything, but there are certain things that people keep to themselves. I have stuff I keep to myself. I mean, nobody can know anybody totally. So as long as you don't have some secret family on the side, I'm Haitian descent. They got about 3-4 families. I kid. I'm all good. You can go sneak off and have your Cinnabon if you like. I'm good with it. I mean, I would like you to bring me something back, but it's okay. So we swing over to Anthony at Hot Fellas Bakery. They got all these greased up dudes carrying around these baked goods, and it was just the craziness of it all. And they talk about how he started the business from scratch. Yes, it's the new time. A lot of people are entrepreneurs, and how he was tired of sitting there doing hand jobs at the house, so he decided to do a different hand job because he's throwing the dough, and the little girl was like, "What's a hand job?" And it was hilarious. Anthony always brings the comedy, and I love him. And as he's talking to Rose, he's like, "Little girl, you need some deodorant. Less skateboard, more deodorant." Do you have a friend that would tell you if you smell bad? I don't know. Let me know. Talk to me in the comments. I would let somebody know if it's horribly bad. I would tell them, "Hey, you need to work something out," and I would want somebody to tell me, but it is what it is. So Charlotte pulls him to the side to tell him not to call her a girl because of their conversation earlier. And Anthony states, I love Anthony, he is like, she's a kid, she's going through whatever she's going through, and just let her go through it. When she was a little baby, she thought she was a dog, and Charlotte's like, Oh, well, when she thought she was a dog, I put down a water bowl for a week. And he said, and that's your problem. You're too indulgent. I love Charlotte for her beauty, her class, her lovingness, her sensitivity, but she always does too much. So I guess she's sticking to her character. Anthony says when he was a kid, he wanted to be Tinkerbell, and his mom didn't give him wings and a tutu, and maybe that's why he didn't grow up to be a fairy. And perfect joke, yeah, it's all funny and everything. It's all joke. People don't come for me, but I thought it was hilarious. It's funny to pick at yourself. So he tells Charlotte to calm down, wait till the right time. When she gets older, if she still feels this way, we'll address it, but stop blowing things up. So they go back to Steve eating snacks. Let me take a sip from my favorite cup. Let me see. My Christmas present. Thank you. And Carrie pulls out, they're all riding in the car, and she pulls out the picture of the dog and Pinkberry and tells the girl she doesn't know everything about Pig, and she's devastated. And she's talking about that she emailed Natasha, and it's been an hour, and she can't wait, and why hasn't she responded? And now she's figured out where the lady works, and she's upset that this girl doesn't realize that she's a grieving wife. Like, please leave this lady alone, Lord. And she thinks that their apartment now is haunted with ghost of Natasha, Pinkberry, and the dog. And so she turns around and she DMs Natasha, and Natasha promptly blocks her on Instagram. So I'm laughing at this. So any one of you guys or chicks that's stalking an ex on the Instagram, please stop. Them people is not worried about you, so you should not be worried about them unless they still posting pictures of your boo. Just live life. So instead of living life, she pulled up on the lady's job. You do not bring mess to people's jobs, Lord. That's not what you do. So she goes in, and Miranda and Charlotte go wait in the restaurant while she goes in to talk to Natasha. And so the scene goes to Miranda and Charlotte sitting there, and Charlotte needs her charger. She goes through Miranda's bag and sees a little bag of Tito's. I mean, we all love Tito's, right? So, like I said, she's a drunk storyline that they're trying to push. I guess she's a functioning drunk. I don't know. And she starts trying to figure out if something is wrong. She asks her if Steve and her are okay, are the kids. And Miranda tells Charlotte that Steve and her haven't had sex in years. Years, y'all. Years. That if they didn't have Brady to talk about, what would they be doing if they didn't eat ice cream and cookies all day? I mean, would you guys settle for just a companionship as long as you were happy? Because you guys know I love Steve with a sexless marriage, or do you need sex for your marriage to work? Me personally, I need sex. So I don't know if I would have stuck around that long unless something is broken. I don't know. And then Steve is only 55. I'm surprised he's not even trying, because them older dudes will try to give you the gummy worm, whatever they got going on, get that blue pill, whatever they need to do to get it popping. So it's shocking that they haven't had sex in years. What's really good, I don't know. We need to figure it out. Plot thickens. So they go back to Carrie trying to get a hold of Natasha, and they come out and say Natasha's in Rome. And I skipped the part. They saw Natasha walk into the building, so there's no way in hell she's in Rome. So she just doesn't want to talk to her. So Carrie gets all upset, and they're all having a fit, and they look up, and Natasha's in a window, and they're looking down, and they freak out, and they scatter like damn roaches. Freaking hilarious. Very, very sexist. That's reminiscent of the Sex and the City, how they reacted. And so Carrie's super humiliated, and then she ends up going for a walk. They speed it up, and Carrie's out for a walk and meets Miranda at the school and vents on the fact that she's sad and she doesn't know what to do, and she thanks Miranda for letting her just vent and not try to fix things. And then she leaves and continues on her walk, and she runs into Natasha at a coffee shop on the Upper West Side, and it's paralleling when Natasha fell and broke her tooth. She hits Carrie with the door, and hot coffee pours on Carrie's arm. And if you remember that scene, let me skip ahead a little bit. So Natasha says she starts trying to, like, why are you stalking me? She's done thinking about you. She tells Carrie she's done thinking about her. She's been thinking about her for years. So you got to think about she lost the marriage based on Carrie, so she probably trying to figure out what happened. And although Natasha's ticked off, Natasha helps her with her burn, and that parallels when Carrie helped her when she fell and broke her tooth. So now it's all coming together, right? So Natasha states that she has two sons, and she told her lawyers not to accept the gift, to give it to charity. She wants nothing to do with Big. She hasn't spoken to him since the divorce. And Carrie's like, whoo, whoo. She exercised on demons when she found out that she hadn't spoken to him since the divorce. And then she was like, I don't even know why he was thinking about me or whatever. And I understand as a wife, if you're sitting there with the will and he's giving another woman $1 million, I'd be crazy too, you know. And then she makes a comment that really, really made Carrie's day in life. It probably shouldn't have, because so much time has passed. But she states, why did he marry me when he was always in love with you? Put in the comments. Are there people who marry other people they know they're not in love with? They know they're with somebody else. I mean, I've known people to do it. I mean, it happens, but I mean, the fact that Carrie was so happy to hear that and took a big, she exhaled like Whitney when she said that. It was just sad to me. I don't know. It was just sad. I guess she finally got the validation that Big loved her. Not those many years of marriage, but this lady making that statement apparently made everything okay. But either way, Natasha says, sorry for your loss, and says it's probably, and Carrie goes, you know, he was a finance guy, so he wasn't good with words. So that money probably was his way of saying sorry. And then she apologizes as well for all, you know, being a side chick, tormenting, chasing Big, knowing they were married and everything. And Natasha says she appreciates it because, you know, my girl's classy. And it's the past, and I don't think we need to follow each other on Instagram. Like I said, don't be stalking those people on Instagram, y'all. Stop it. And so now Carrie's got her validation, and that was the epic scene. It was a finish off of Attack of the 5'10" Woman and all those different clashes in the original show, right? So closure for that. So now we're going to go to Che's Netflix special. So it's super raunchy. She's talking about, you know, cheer if I F you, cheer if you F me, cheer if I ever wanted to F you. She starts talking about gender identity and allies. Everybody's smoking them trees up in there. It's a vibe up in there. And she's talking about coming out, and you can tell Charlotte is going to apply this to Rose or whatever. But what I can say about that comedy set, it went way too long. I don't know if they're trying to make that Che comedian a breakout star, but it's not working. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. It's okay. Anyways, so the set is over, and Miranda decides she's going to stay for the after party. Charlotte goes and calls Rose to tell her she loves her no matter what because of what she just heard. And since Miranda stays for the after party, she goes back in and she sees Che, and they are having a conversation, and Che gives Miranda a shotgun of some of the trees she's smoking. If you've ever had a shotgun, then you know it's very intimate, it's very close, it's very sexy. So I heard. And she looks mesmerized and traumatized at the same time. And so we kind of know, like I said, the storyline is going to go the way that Cynthia Nixon's storyline in real life is. She left her husband for a lady. So it looks like that's what they're doing. And Charlotte, it goes back to Charlotte telling Carrie in the car about the concerns about drinking. And then Carrie ends up walking home alone. And that's how the episode ended. So that was the episode. A lot happened. I mean, it was more exciting than the previous episodes. I guess the big passing away episode was excitement. And then we have Carrie and Natasha getting together, finally finishing up their business. And we're going to see what the next episode is. I'm going to try to come with that video before the New Year's. But thank you for joining me on this review, this ride. And before I go, one more thing. So my name is Decephia Scholar, and anybody who knows me knows I love books. So So I do book reviews as well. So look forward to those coming in the new year. These are just some of the books I'm going to check out. I love a good biography. I have Will. I'm going to see some of the messiness that's in here. And this is the Luther Campbell book. I love reading about how people overcame adversity. So make sure you check that out. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment. Even if you don't like it, let me know. It's all good. And if you have a book you want me to read and give you an honest review on, send me a shout out at the Sepia Scholar, or those of you who follow me on Facebook. Drop me something in the DM. Do something to let me know you want me to read your book, or you have some product you want me to check out. So love you. Just in case, Happy New Year. God bless. Sepia Scholar out.